So, today we got a bunch of things to talk about. First thing we're going to do is just show you the bulletin board for My Notre Dame. So you find your trigonometry class, you click on it. Here's the bulletin board. So weekly agenda of topics I'd like to cover, links. So we'll talk about all this stuff here in a moment. But I record all my lectures as well. So by the end of the day, typically the recording for that day's lecture will be posted under the links, which is the date, is usually all I put on there. So if you're absent, great place to start is just watch what we did that day. Announcements has my contact info in it. The syllabus here that we're going to be talking about in a moment, you can access here. The archived agendas will be stored here as well. So if you're like absent for 2 weeks and you want to see something. And then the syllabus sign-in sheet you can access here. That we'll talk about that in more detail here in a minute when we do the syllabus. Everybody cool with the My Notre Dame page? Pretty straightforward. It's just the one page. It'll just get, the links thing will get really long over the course of the semester, but that's the gist of it. We cool? All right. Let's pull up that syllabus and we'll walk through the big points there. I'm not going to go through every single little section because quite frankly, you've been here long enough that you probably have seen one syllabus, you've seen them all. But we'll talk about some of the big points for me. So you need your stuff. When we do notes and stuff in class, I'm good with either you guys doing a physical copy, like writing in a notebook, or if you want to do digital, if you want to write in OneNote, I'm more than happy to let you do that. So if you are a OneNoter, make sure you got your stylus. The grade breakdown, so 50% comes from the test, 10% is going to come from homework quizzes. We'll talk about what that means in a second. 25% is going to come from homework and 15% from the final exam. So grades, same grades as you've been doing. Help, come find me. Community time's great. Before school is maybe not so great anymore. My daughter's going to the lower school. You might have seen me walking around with her at some point here the last day or two. So getting her there in the morning, choose into some of that time. To get honors for the course, the special certificate at the award ceremony. Since it's a regular course, you need to do 95 or better both semesters. The homework. So homework is going to be assigned on most days. We'll have one weekly problem set that you guys have to turn in. We're going to turn those in via OneNote. We'll talk a little bit about what that looks like here in a few minutes. And those will be checked weekly. They're due Sundays at midnight. So you have a week to kind of start working on those things, and gives you a little bit of flexibility if you have a particularly, busy night because you had a double baseball game, or you had long practice, or your grandma's birthday party, or whatever. Gives you some flexibility to kind of shuffle your schedule around a little bit. Please don't make your plan, I'm going to do a week's worth of math homework Sunday, right? Don't put it off that bad or that long. Math is one of those things, doing a little bit every day makes a big world of difference in terms of understanding what you're doing, because what we did on Monday is going to build on, or we're going to build on when we do it on Wednesday, and that's going to be built on Friday. And if you don't do any homework until Sunday, you missed a lot of building reinforcement. So really, really, really keep working on the homework set during the course of the week, but you don't need to feel like you need to finish all the homework on the day it was assigned, right? So have some flexibility to move things around if you need to, but don't make it a habit of waiting to do everything all at the last minute. It's really an ineffective way of learning mathematics, is the sprint, coast, coast, right? You want to just even keel the whole way through. Is a much better way of going about this. Okay. In addition to the weekly homework checks, we may get some daily stuff that's digital. So I'll be assigning some daily assignments on what's called Delta Math, and we'll walk through kind of how that works and set that up for you guys later today. Those would be due like the same day, but it'll be like, like you have to get like 10 correct or whatever from a set. So it's not, it's not like at all the time in the world kind of thing. And if it feels like it's like this is more time than I really should be spending in a single night, we can talk and negotiate like how much we're really assigning on these things. Okay, so it's my first time doing this or using this program, so we'll kind of figure that out together. And again, the homework sets are 5 points based on completeness. The daily homework stuff, I'll still kind of figure out whether those are going to be based on completeness or correctness. We'll see how easy it is to set things up. I think it's what I did initially, at least, I think I set it up where you get like as many problems as it takes to get like 10 correct. And I think I would just count that as like, if you did, instead of how many you missed in there, if you just got the 10 correct, would kind of count that as the homework done. So you have lots of tries and it's not like stressful right and wrong kind of thing. At least initially, right? Because we're still, probably most of us, it's the first time using something like this, right? So that seems pretty fair, at least on the outset. The late assignments. So up to 1 week, 25%. Late up to 2 weeks is 50%. Up to a month is 75%. After 1 month, late would be no credit. I would say even for me, I'm probably not going to, all right, let me put it this way. When I grade the problem sets that are due Sunday at midnight, right? I typically will grade those during the day sometime on Monday. I'm not waking up Sunday at midnight to grade math homework, believe it or not. Now, there can be issues, and students frequently have issues, especially early on, with their OneNote notebook and not syncing things correctly, so that it's in your notebook, but I can't see it on my end. And we'll talk about what that means here in a moment. But I would say at least for the first month or so, I would waive the deduction inside of the first week if it's a sync issue where it's like, yeah, okay, I see it. I went back and I synced it. Should be there now. And you send me an email or whatever about it while we're still kind of figuring out the technology end together. Okay? So I will be flexible on this. And again, if you have issues on things and you send me an email in advance, be like, yeah, so like I made a mistake and I don't have time to do this anymore. And like, can I turn it in on, Wednesday or something? And you send me an email, it's fine. It's fine. Like, I'm never going to fight you about that kind of thing, unless it's been, the last 4 homework sets in a row, you've done the same thing to me. Where it's like, okay, can we have a conversation about how we're managing our time? The homework quizzes. So we'll typically do at least 1 per chapter. These homework quizzes are unannounced, but I give you an idea that something is coming soon. They're based on recent homework assignments. They're closed books, and these are graded on a 10-point scale based on demonstration of understanding. So a homework quiz might just be like 3 questions. And basically I'll be like, maybe you get one of the questions wrong. That's not a 2 out of 3. It's like, oh, you got it wrong, but it was like some trivial minor mistake. It's a 9 or a 10. It's like you basically did A work because you did everything except for like dropping a negative sign, and that's why you got it wrong. Maybe you get 2 out of 3 and you got it wrong because you made like a conceptual mistake or like an algebra mistake. Maybe that's an 8 or a 9, depending on like the kind of mistake you're making. Say you get everything wrong, but you did like kind of the right stuff, some right stuff in there. It's probably like a 7 or an 8. It's very hard to get like below, like 7s if you're doing stuff that makes sense on the homework quizzes. So again, like it's kind of unannounced, but the grading is pretty generous in terms of how I'm grading things, because it's not strictly just right or wrong. I'm looking at, okay, like, we're on the right track on this. It's just an opportunity for me to get you guys some more feedback. Cool? And again, that's the smallest percentage of our grade is the homework quizzes. So Tests, typically we're going to have one test at the conclusion of each chapter. I award partial credit for most questions based on the work shown. You guys will be given the option to use a half sheet of notes for the test. Cool. Those notes need to be submitted to me on the review day, so the day that we take before the test to kind of review and make sure we got all our ducks in a row and finish up our homeworks and all that kind of stuff. It's due to me that day. I'll pass it back to you on the test day. If the notes, though, are not allowed on makeup tests. So this is an incentive for people not to skip the test day, because I'm giving you the opportunity to be like, hey, I'm not that great at prepared, but at least I have some notes, versus I'm just going to kick this can down the road a week or two because I don't feel great about it. If you want to do that, like, again, I'm not going to fight about it, but the notes go away on those because you had more time. You know what I mean? If you're somebody that does the extended time stuff, I ask you to kind of set that up in advance with counseling. It's fine with me, but I wanted you to do like the test in one setting kind of thing. So if you need to do that and you take it with counseling as separate arrangement through Mr. Durkin or whatever, that's cool. Just kind of let me know in advance so I have a chance to get that stuff down there. We're all what? We're sophomores and juniors all in here. Anybody doesn't understand the dress code on what you're supposed to be doing? I don't see a lot of lanyards on, but that's probably because you haven't gotten your new lanyards because we haven't taken any pictures yet. But just to know, I am looking. I do care a little bit. I'm not going to like stop the world to deal with dress code, but typically if it's something that can be fixed, I'm just going to ask you to fix it, and then that'll be the end of it, right? Which I think is reasonable and fair. Computers, again, if you're using your OneNote to take notes, you're allowed to do that. That's totally fine. If it feels like we're watching YouTube videos or something, we may take away that privilege from you. But as long as you're using it the way you're supposed to be using it, I don't have any problems. Academic honesty this is just copied straight out of the handbook, right? I have a funny page break in there. Absences, if you miss a homework quiz, again, these are unannounced, so that can happen. Typically, I'm pretty good at recording those as M's as soon as on the same day that you missed. So if you catch one of those, or when you see one of those in your My Notre Dame, that's the word I'm thinking of, just let me know. You can come in any day during community time and knock that out. They're designed to be like just like 15 or 20 minute little, like 3-question little guys. So easy time to do that. That's when I like to do that. The tests, if you miss a test, makeups are testing room or study hall. Either is fine with me. The testing rooms are Tuesday mornings and Thursday after school. I think I have some times in there. Typically, what I'm asking is that like within 1 week of your absence, you've scheduled something. It doesn't have to happen during that 1 week, but you've talked to me and been like, okay, next Friday in study hall, I'm going to do the test. It's like, great, fine, no problem. Just as long as we've had a conversation, I know what's going on. You know what I mean? Snow days, blah, blah, blah. We'll post something by 9 if we have to. At the end of the semester, so I'm going to drop a low homework score. I'm going to drop a low homework quiz, and then you'll have the option to either take a doubled high test score or do a test retake where your maximum score is capped at 85. So we'll remind you again at the end of the semester about this and talk about like, what should I do? But that's there are no retakes other than this or some like massively extenuating circumstance. The material to be covered, the hope is that we can go through the first 7 chapters in the first semester. We'll see how that goes. Again, I'm not married to like we have to get all through this, all of it, and I'm just gonna like go crazy sprinting ahead without you guys. But this is the typical plan, is that we want to be kind of in that first 7-ish chapters. Okay. And then this is my this all can change if I have to because of things that happen that were not things I would have thought about happening. But I ask you guys that for Monday that you have your show the syllabus to your parent and then you and them sign this thing. Perfectly fine to do this inside of OneNote, and we're going to turn them into OneNote. I'll show you guys how we're going to do that here in a few minutes. But this is the syllabus sign-in sheet that we referred to here. So if you want just the sign-in sheet where you show your parent the digital syllabus and then here, sign this piece of paper, or if you want the whole syllabus, the sign-in sheet is at the end of it also. So either one is fine. Everybody cool? So far, so good? Questions so far? Okay. Take out your tablets. We're going to set up our shared OneNote folder. So first thing we're going to do when you open up your tablet is open up Microsoft Teams. If you haven't opened up Microsoft Teams in a while or you don't know where it's at, easiest place to do it is click the little magnifying glass and type in Teams.
I'm on the student.
That's because you didn't do the thing at the end of the semester last year to make sure that your Wi-Fi was set. So I would try to carve out some time here in this next week or so to go down to IT to have them help you straighten out what you need to get onto the student server, because I think it's going to be faster than the guest. But there was some hoop you had to jump through.
Really? I don't want to get rid of that. Do you know how to get rid of it?
Teams is what we should be opening. Teams, Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams. I'm just walking by to see what you're doing. Make sure you got Microsoft Teams.
Am I already in it? It already says
I have no Wi-Fi.
So I already added everybody into the class.
Oh, okay.
But we have, you guys need to get to know that a little bit.
Oh,
and that's what we're going to walk through right now. This is the only day that we're going to ever use Teams.
Thank you.
And okay. Anybody still working on getting Teams up?
I am.
Okay. No problem. And Natalia, you change sections, right? So don't do this with 7th hour. I'm going to add you into 2nd hour in just a moment so that hopefully that comes through while I'm waiting for everybody else to kind of get here. I'm going to do this real quick.
I'm trying to get in like 19 This right?
Okay. Natalia, if you, I just added you, so I think maybe you have to if you resync or something, you see it? Okay. All right. So once you're in Teams, we're looking to find 2nd hour Trig. So if you're in 2nd hour Trig, it should say, welcome to 2nd hour trigonometry in the main panel here. Everybody got that far? Somebody stuck?
It won't load in at all.
Mine just not loaded.
Yeah, it'll take it. It's going to be slow. It's fine. Oh, Teams won't open?
Like nothing.
Okay, try to restart it. Okay.
You just try that line left.
Yeah.
Hit that jump.
Oh, yeah, you're to log in. So if you go
Any backpack?
My computer just shut off. Check back on, so hopefully not that.
The good news is that we're recording everything we're doing right now.
Yeah.
So we can always go back if you get hung up because your computer's like, oh, I have 57 things that I need to do right now. Okay?
What is that?
Okay. All right. So if you are at the screen where it says welcome to second hour trigonometry, on the left here, you see the class notebook right there? We're going to click on that.
I lost. Mine's with blank.
I don't have.
Mine?
Yes, sir.
Mine's just blank.
And mine restarted, so.
Okay. So,
Oh,
One more now, you're in
Our homework is still the same.
yeah,
Good.
no problem.
You gotta go.
So this is because
How about that planner grant?
You got it?
but it will eventually come through. I promise. Gotta go in now.
Maybe the task force going. Hey, right now, with that party fest.
Hey, I got my back.
All right, final step here. At this point, it should have like a little picture of the OneNote right in here, right?
Yes.
You're looking at this option at the top where it says Open in Browser. From the drop down, you want to select instead Open in Desktop App. That'll open up OneNote for you automatically, and just leave that there. I'm going to walk around and kind of troubleshoot as you guys are going, okay? Yep. So what you're looking for is this Open in Browser option. You're going to hit the drop down and instead pick Open in Desktop App.
yeah. I don't have this class.
Okay.
One number is 1, 2.
What's your name again? Bree? Okay.
I woke up at 2 and I could not go on. Well, not me.
Okay. So I just added you. The hitch is going to be, it's going to take a minute for like the content to come. So like when I say that, half an hour. So it's going to be just if you refresh here, you should see.
Well, that's why you drop out of school.
Like I close it out. Okay. Good. Nice.
You ever read that?
If I run out of room in the box, it'd be there.
I'm in health and physical education.
Or is it hasn't even. It hasn't even. I don't turn off your computer, dude. I'll turn it off.
This says that'd be under health and physical education. It says at home workout.
We ain't making a play.
I am playing. until it like breaks.
Yeah, dude, one move and that thing pops out, and I am that hits my That's what the issue is. I ain't trying to be out for a few weeks.
Yeah. So like if we have anything presented, we can have
There we go.
You didn't do this last night? Last night on the kitchen table.
Last night I went to bed because I thought my dad would be working.
What else should I do?
Yeah, that's messed up that he lays in bed. Spanish and
No, I like Glee for that. Like relax. I'm doing it for that. Yeah. You can like red first.
All right. Hi, everybody. Let's take a look here. So if you're looking at your OneNote, at the top, you guys should see 3 tabs. You'll see collaboration space. We don't do anything in that tab. You see the content library. This is where I'm going to be putting like the textbook pages and the homework pages and my notes and anything that I'm trying to share with you document-wise, I basically am going to dump into the content library. Okay? So for example, maybe we want the syllabus sign-in sheet. I'm going to dump in there. So if you guys click Content Library at the top, do you see the syllabus sign-in sheet there right now? No. So the reason it's not there yet is because your computer hasn't finished syncing the changes my computer's made. So the stuff on my computer's got to go up to the cloud, and then from the cloud it's got to go back down to your computer, right? To force your computer to do that, if you take and right-click over here where it says Second Hour Trig Notebook, you can click the option to sync this notebook now, and that'll force it to do that syncing right now, and you should see that sign-in sheet come through. This is the number one reason students have missing homeworks is because they did their homework and then they forgot to sync it, and I can't see what they did on their end.
How do you sync it for your personal stuff? Are we going to go over that?
Yeah, it works the exact same way.
Just hit that same button.
Yep, you do the exact same thing.
Right click on your second hour break. You know, it says double click off the computer, but really. Well, no, it's just restart. Oh.
They've been doing this for a minute.
Wait, what is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I see how you do it. You are sending me good Really?
Dude, you're gonna check it out. Let me get a little bit. Get your water bottle. Let me get a little bit.
Oh, I see, yeah.
It's gonna be lots of
Yeah. It's when I found out my house was.
That's so bad.
I got my work and stuff. It wasn't my original. This is not my original.
All right.
Oh, yeah, right over.
Everybody cool so far? Shh. All right. So at the last tab, if you go back out, so to step up a tab, you see the little green arrow here right next to the tab. That'll take you back up. And then if you click on your name, right? You should see your name as the third tab at the top there. Yes? So I'm going to just click on Aiden's, for example. Inside, you're going to have 3 preloaded tabs, one for archived homework. So these would be homework assignments that I've already graded for you guys. That's where I want you to move them to. Current homework, that would be the stuff that I would need to grade. So when I look for things to grade, that's where I should be looking. And then a place for, if you're taking notes or storing handouts or stuff that we've given in class, there's a section for you to have those. Everybody's okay? So your current homework, every day, you're going to want to make a new page. So we'll just call like 1.1, numbers 1 through 10 or something, would be like the name of one homework assignment. Everybody kind of see that? You just kind of type it in the top there and it changes the name on the side. Yeah, what's up?
Do you have to do your homework on OneNote?
Here's the thing. Right, so say you want to write your homework in OneNote, totally fine. If you want to write on a piece of paper, that's fine. But you're going to take a picture of that piece of paper then and dump it into OneNote. So let's talk about how we do that, right? So let's talk about this then. To take a picture and get it into OneNote. Easiest way to do this, take out your cell phone. It's fine, I'm telling you to do it. Take out your cell phone. Take a picture of a sheet of paper in front of you, just like your notebook or your keyboard or whatever. Take some stupid picture. This is just for funds, right? Okay? Once you've got your picture, email that picture to your student account. Email it to yourself at NDP, to your student email. Go to your student email. Download that picture, preferably to some place where it's going to be easy for you to find it again, because we need the icon. So I would save it to your desktop. And then, okay, so took your picture, emailed it. No, emailed it. I'm just recapping the steps. You took a picture, emailed it to yourself. Open that email in your NDP account. Download the picture to your desktop or someplace where it's easy for you to find that file once you've saved it. Okay. And then here's the last step, okay? Just watch. So let's say that this thing is the picture, this icon right here that I picked up. I'm just going to drag it into the blank white space, let go, and hit Insert Printout as my option. And OneNote is just going to show me something I don't want to see, but drop it in, and it's there. That's done. That's it.
You lost them.
Okay.
How do you download it and put it?
So let's see here.
Look, I just got this.
So here, I have this, right? I have some. Oops. Here we go. There we go. So here's an email, right, that I opened. Down here at the bottom is the attachments. I pick the arrow to download. It prompts me with where I want to save this to. And on the side, I'm just going to pick the desktop and hit save. And then you should have an icon on your desktop.
Oh, I did that.
I'm not on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, put it on your desktop. It's the easiest place to find it. The desktop should be one of your quick views on the side.
You know, I did look at it.
Click on it.
This is what you do. So when you save it, you drag
Oh.
And then you just drag the icon in and let go, and it's done.
It works.
You hit insert printout, easy, right? Easy. Now, here's the catch. Here's the catch. What's going to sync faster? A bunch of stuff that's handwritten on OneNote or a big old picture file?
big old picture.
The handwritten stuff syncs real fast. The giant picture file is a whole lot of data. That takes a long time to sync. So if you did that, if you're a drag-inner, you definitely need to make sure to sync your notebook when you finish dragging.
So every time you just
How long do you think it'll take?
To sync? Oh, like 30 seconds. If you force it to sync, just drag them all in and then just hit sync.
Oh,
So when I hit sync, see the little green circle here?
Yeah.
When that goes away, it's done syncing. So Aiden, I just put in this uniform crap into yours. I'll get rid of it in a second. But see if the green circle's gone? It's finished syncing. It's done. It just takes a couple of seconds. But you have to remember to do it.
so if you don't sync it, it won't work.
It will sync eventually. Like if you leave your OneNote open for long enough, it will do it automatically. But it takes a while for the, like, yeah, like I don't know how OneNote is set up, but every so often it's like, okay, let's sync now. Okay, let's sync now.
If you close it,
If you
still sync, or is it?
No. So if you leave OneNote open, it'll sync in the background. If you tell it sync now and you wait for the green circle thing to go away, it's synced. You can close. If you just dump a bunch of stuff in there and hit close, probably nothing sunk because it didn't have enough time to do it. Again, we'll be super flexible about this. And we'll talk about, like, if I don't like the way you're formatting things and all that jazz as we get going. But that's your OneNote 101. And I'll be using this almost exclusively to do notes and everything else as we go. But that's a little one-day quickie how to do this. Again, what's the best part about what we're doing right now? It's all being recorded. So if you need to go back and watch how to do this again, it'll be on the My Notre Dame link for today. Yes, sir.
Could you help me out real quick? Mine's just a little bit.
Okay.
Do you have to like hit something to save it, or is it small?
1 second. I'll be
Wait.
okay. So now it's open in browser. And then the desktop app. Or this OneNote show.
Can I use your files?
Cool.
How do you still have that?
Everything else from there was just talking about like how we
No!
Oh, so save. There's no save. So anything that's in there is gonna stay there.
I could do it. All the pets.
For me to be able to make sure I can do it.
Master all of them.
You can just sync this notebook now.
So you put it in homework.
So weird.
Why does it say April 18th, bro?
This is stored.
Thank you.
Which you really need a notebook to go.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Next up, I want to set up your guys' Delta Math accounts. So to do this, we're just going to go back to the My Notre Dame page. So if you guys get your tablets going, and we're at the My Notre Dame page.
I wish it was like
Yeah, ain't gonna ever get
What's the problem? There probably is a way to put it in order. I don't know. She was complaining about something. I was trying to help her, and then she
My
didn't.
Notre Dame, like I wish I was classes were.
Oh,
But it's like not.
for your day.
Like when you first log in and you go to look at your grades, it was in order of like your class.
I see. All right. We're back on our My Notre Dame page. Everybody here? Ish?
Hold on.
I'm still logging.
Oh my.
Okay. Give a second.
Moving on ancient time.
It happens.
I haven't seen it yet,
Probably because I'm at 9%.
The video from yesterday where Mr. Kanja told you guys to do your updates. That would have been something to take to heart.
Nah, I did it during the first hour.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm ready.
You're ready now.
Dude, why don't I
Do you have an actual charger?
Me? I don't think so. But maybe your neighbor has one to borrow, and there's an extension cord there in the middle back there that's plenty long enough. All right, next up. From My Notre Dame, on the bulletin board, under the links, you should see a link that says Delta Math registration. Go ahead and click that. And then I don't really know where this is going to send you exactly because this is the first time I'm doing
Course
this.
registration with the code already.
Is it like this?
Yeah, good.
Is that the code?
X5.
Yeah, so just hit register with Google.
Register with like this?
Just use your school Google account to register.
Register with Google. Course code is
Register with Google.
X. Course code X. Capital.
If you click the link, it should be in there.
Her reminder the name won't work.
Oh, okay.
X5 again. Dash.
Cool.
Oh my gosh, that was the easiest.
And then and then you're done, right?
Dude, I don't know if
I don't think it
password.
worked.
Oh wait.
I think you gotta log in still.
So register.
Yeah, then right. So we did the registration. To look in here, you have to log in. Yep.
Now I just
And
log
use
in.
Google to log
So then I
in.
hit create account.
Yeah.
We're gonna find out. See how well it works. This is my first time I'm trying to use this, so we're
So then
learning
it
together.
says login failed. You're right. Shoot.
Yeah, hit sign in with Google.
Oh, login with Google.
Yeah.
I failed geometry. I'm not good at geometry.
Okay.
We're gonna have to take
We're gonna talk about
I
the
got
course
0 out of
here.
10 for first day in school.
Sit here.
No, you don't have to do anything right now. Just do the registration.
I got a 0%
This is cool. I used to ask them real quick.
You better all ask.
All right. So Delta Math registration. Everybody did the registration. Click the link. Did use Google to create my login. Also on the links then is the straight. If you see the Delta Math link, that'll take you straight to the Delta Math page without the login information or the registration stuff. From here on out, now that you've done the registration, you're just going to use the Delta Math link. Don't worry about anything in there. I'll tell you when there's something to do in there. And we'll talk about like how to find it, what to do, and all that stuff. Some of us have already looked at the assignment that I made up and are like already freaking out. But we freak out yet. We haven't even talked about anything that I'm asking you to do yet. So, okay. Okay. We have registration is done. So let's talk a little about the course itself now. We have 30 minutes or so left, right? All right. So I'm gonna do some real notes now, but these are just kind of like introduction, kind of what is this course about? What do we need to remember from the previous courses that's going to be helpful? So we're going to review some of this stuff that we would have seen before. Okay. So trigonometry. When you see the word trigonometry, what root word? Trig. Yeah, trig would mean 3 or possibly triangle. That's really what I'm looking for. And then when we have like ometry at the end, that's like study of. So study of triangles is kind of where the root name of this is coming from. Well, here's the beautiful thing. I'm doing this in the content library in OneNote, so all of the notes that I write here will be available to you in your OneNote. Now, I was always a student that's like, I don't remember boo if I don't actually write anything down while I'm doing it. Like that helped me focus. And so if you're that student, do that too. If you're like, I'm cool just sitting and listening. That's how I process. Cool, because the notes are here for you. Okay? So, yes. What's up? Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So, if trigonometry is the study of triangles, what previous course is going to become important foundationally here? Geometry.
What if you like weren't good at geometry?
Well, here's the lovely part. Okay, so lots of questions being fired out. We're going to cover these one at a time, okay? What if you weren't good at geometry? It's okay. We're going to start like reviewing the things from geometry that are going to be important foundationally, okay? And when something else new comes up that's like, hey, remember this from geometry, and you say, no, that's okay, we'll just re-explain it then, okay? It was 2 years ago. I'm not expecting you guys to all have perfect recall, all right? Second thing I heard was are there proofs, not geometry proofs, but there are things in here that are kind of proofy, but not for a while, okay? So it's not right away like in geometry where you start doing proof stuff immediately. But there are some things that are more like a algebraic proof that happen. All right. So trigonometry, study of triangles, geometry will be foundationally important. What do we remember about triangles from geometry? Any facts? Yes, sir. 3 types, okay. What, do you remember the names of those 3 types? Okay. Yes. And right. Yep. And these 3 types that you've described are based on angles. There's another 3 types that are based on sides.
Oh, isosceles.
Isosceles is one of them.
Oh, I don't know the others.
Is hypotenuse one of them?
Hypotenuse is a name for a specific side. It's not a type of triangle.
Equilateral.
Equilateral is another.
I don't know if it's the last one.
And the last one is called scalene. So, to review, acute. What does acute mean?
Small triangle.
All the angles are
Sub 90.
less than 90 degrees. Very good. Obtuse.
Bigger than 180.
Bigger than 90.
One
There's
angle.
there's one angle that's bigger than 90 but less than 180. A right means
Right angle.
one angle of exactly 90 degrees. Okay? Everybody that pretty familiar. Isosceles.
Oh, is that the one when they all equal the same?
That's equilateral is when all the sides are the same length. Isosceles is when 2 sides are the same, although there's a theorem that says then you also have 2 angles that are the same. So that's an equivalent statement, although not the definition. And scalene is no sides are the same length. Cool. Look at this. You guys remember more than you thought, right? You're doing okay. This is not a bad starting point. Let's keep going. What else do we remember about triangles from geometry?
There was a ton of theorems.
There's a ton of theorems. Great. Do we,
The side theorem, right?
Pythagorean theorem is a great one to start with. Okay. So we would say for a right triangle, we'll call that triangle ABC, where we have sides AB, BC, and AC. And we, let's name them this one. Where we name the side lengths then little a, little b, little c. Pythagorean.
What is that? FOI? After Pythagorean?
It's 4.
4.
Oh.
That's okay. So when we're using the Pythagorean theorem, what's the one thing we have to be careful about? What you're plugging in for A, B, and C, right? Which one do we have to be careful about?
C is
Yes.
Oh yeah, cross from the angles.
Yeah. Exactly. Again, the longest side across from the longest angle. That was also a geometry triangles theorem. Let's see, we'll say triangle sides are proportional to, let's say, triangle angles are proportional to the opposite side.
Triangle to side.
Wait, what? Triangle to...
Triangle angles are proportional to the opposite side. That means like the shortest side is across from the shortest angle. The middle angle is middle side is across from the middle angle. The longest side is across from the biggest angle, right? That's what we're saying. So it has to come from, it'll come from my end. It won't be actually like real time seeing the notes come through, but every periodically you should see a dump. If you're looking to follow along on the content library, it's kind of slow though. Okay. This is a great start so far, guys. What else?
That's about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Isn't there like a side, like,
So you're thinking about, okay, so we're talking about triangle congruence and similarity. So congruence and similarity theorems. Yup. So there was side was one. There was side, angle, side. There was angle, side, angle. Angle, angle, side. And there's not a side angle or angle side. It spells a curse word. That's how you can remember it doesn't work.
That's what I thought.
So these are the 4. Do you remember what triangle congruence meant?
yeah.
No.
Just means that the 2 triangles are exactly the same. They have all the identical angle measures and all of the identical side lengths. Congruence is essentially equality in geometric terms, right? Kind of works the same. Yes, sir.
So is trig the same thing as geometry?
The foundation is we're going to be taking some of these geometric ideas and then extending them into an algebraic setting.
Like, go from algebra 1 to geometry, then algebra 2. Like, why not just go algebra 1 to algebra 2, then geometry to trigonometry?
Tradition. I don't know. I don't have a better reason for you. I wish I did. Okay. Similarity. What does similarity mean?
It means they're
Likewise.
they have one
Have
angle,
something in
one
common.
angle the same, and then one side the same.
All the angles are exactly the same, but the sides are proportional. So what does that mean? For example, if one triangle had side lengths 3, 4, 5, and it was similar to another triangle, that triangle side lengths might be something like 6, 8, 10, where they were 2 times the sides of the previous one. They'll be proportional in some way, where there's some scale factor. That is similarity that we're talking about right now. Congruence is just the two triangles are identical in every way other than the name. So far, very good. Remembering a lot of these important pieces, and the pieces that we're not, we're kind of clarifying, right?
Could you just go over the sides, the squiggly line, the line, and then just the squiggly line?
So this is congruence,
Okay,
and this one is similarity.
got it.
So if two things are congruent, they're ostensibly identical. Everything is the same, other than the names, possibly. Similarity means the two things are proportional. So they're the exact same shape, but like one thing is twice as big as the other, or half as big as the other, or 3 times as big. Right? That's all we're saying. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. And again, you notice that I'm using any technical definitions here when I'm describing these things, right? We're just kind of having a conversation talking about like what this stuff is like. Because I think that's for where we're building towards, that's going to be the more valuable. So I just want some intuition so you guys understand what these things mean. We don't have to use them to do things per se. Okay. What else? There's 2 big ones that I think we probably need to mention.
I remember this thing, but I don't really know how to put it in words.
Okay.
It's like, I can draw it though.
You just tell me what you're talking about, and I'm sure that I can.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I see.
You can draw it. You can draw it.
I don't have any markers right now. So.
Yeah, Kaden's got a big sharpie.
So, how about this?
Oh, interior, exterior.
That's what it was.
Sum of interior angles is? How many degrees are in a triangle?
90.
180.
180. Yeah.
Given.
Right?
Oh, the given. Yeah, given.
So you know that every triangle, if we add up all 3 of the interior angles, that has to equal 180 degrees. Which is the same as a straight line, yes. Yep. Okay. Now, the next thing we need to is something specific to right triangles.
Right.
What can we use if we have right triangles?
No, if it has a 90 degrees, doesn't it?
It's like,
There's an acronym that I'm looking for.
yes.
Good job.
Oh.
Sokotoa.
Dude, this thing ended me.
SOHCAHTOA. What does SOHCAHTOA stand for?
Sine.
Over.
So we'd say for right triangle, ABC. So we'd say
opposite hypotenuse. And then
We'd say, for example, yeah, all right. So with acute angle theta, we'll say sine theta is so theta is a Greek letter. It's like the same as an x, right? So the convention in mathematics is when you're describing a variable for an angle, we use Greek letters. And when you're describing a variable for a side length, we use like standard English letters, just as a way to help keep straight what kind of variable you have, whether it's an angle measure or a side length. So sides or angles, we typically use Greek letters. Sides, we typically use, your normal alphabet letters. Now, do you have to do that? No, but that's the convention. That's what I'm going to do. So theta is just like an O with a line through the middle. Cosine is then adjacent over hypotenuse. And tan theta is opposite over adjacent. That all at least ring some bells. Right. I don't expect you to remember how to use them. I don't expect you even to remember what they mean or like what I'm really doing with this. But it'd just be like, SOHCAHTOA. Yeah, we did that. That's good enough for where we're at right now. Okay. Everybody good so far? So if I'm looking at the triangle ABC that I drew there, and we're using the angle theta that I drew in, and let's just say, let's name these sides A, B, and C. And again, I want to point out that the convention here is that if I'm talking about side or angle A, I'm going to name the side opposite angle A as little a. If I'm talking about angle B, the side opposite angle B is little b. We talk about angle C, the side opposite angle C is little c. That's the convention when we name a triangle. Is that okay? Ring a bell about what you'd probably use that same convention in geometry, hopefully. Now, it was 2 years ago. If you don't remember, that's okay. But that's how I'm going to name it. So, my question for you is, which side is opposite for the picture that I've drawn? A, B, or C? Okay. So we've tried somebody's guessed all three of them. So the key to figuring this out is, which angle are we talking about? Where's the theta? Is theta A, B, or C? It's A, right? Look at the picture. Look at where the theta is. So little a is opposite of angle theta. So that's what we mean by opposite in this picture. What's hypotenuse?
C.
C. Good. What's adjacent then in this picture? B. And hypotenuse would still be C. And then obviously opposite still A, adjacent still B.
I don't understand that.
It's little a.
A is opposite.
It still
of
stays the
theta.
same.
So the key is the angle that you're looking at. We're looking at angle theta. Opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse all are reference to the angle that we're taking sine, cosine, and tangent of. So looking at angle theta, the side adjacent to it is B. The side opposite it is A. Hypotenuse is always C. But it doesn't matter whether you're using sine, cosine, or tangent. If the angle is still the same angle, opposite, adjacent, still the same. Is that, we're cool?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Again, if you don't understand, you're doing the right thing. Tell me you don't understand. We can clarify some more. We'll talk about it. We'll re-explain. We'll emphasize like what's the key piece. Because nothing we've done so far is like computationally difficult, right? It's just like vocabulary and naming and like what does it mean to be opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse, like, right? We haven't done any calculation. We haven't solved for anything. We haven't even really used any numbers. We're just kind of like reviewing concepts and definitions right now, right? Okay. So far, so good? Okay. So one of the key skills that you would have used would be to use sine, cosine, and tangent to solve for a missing piece in a right triangle. So let's say we have this example. Can I do anything with the picture that I've currently drawn? No, why not?
There's nothing to plug in.
Nope, we have enough information in terms of sides and angles.
You don't know what one to
You don't know if it's a right angle.
Ah, there we go. To be able to solve this, we need to have a right triangle. Can't use sine, cosine, and tangent without a right triangle. Now, does it look like a right triangle? It does, but is it labeled as a right triangle? No. So let's fix that. Okay. Let's just assume that it is. Now we can solve for x. So relative to this angle, what is side 5? Is it opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse?
Opposite.
It's opposite. And x is hypotenuse. So which one do I want? Sine, cosine, or tangent? Sine, because sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So I can say sine 36 equals opposite over hypotenuse. Does this all look familiar so far? Okay. We're trying to solve for x now. So what do I need to do next? We're solving this equation for x. The geometry part is now over. This is now algebra, right? We just have an equation that we're solving for x. What do I need to do to get that x by itself? Multiply both sides by
Reciprocal.
1/2
x. Yeah. So if we multiply So we'll multiply both sides by x over 1. The reason we need to do that is because we need to get the x by itself. X in the denominator is not helpful to us. That x needs to be in the numerator, right? So the first step is to get that x out of the denominator. If it is there, then what do we need to do? Not 36, divide by sine 36. Remember, sine 36 is just a number. That's something we type into our calculator, right? So that should be the value for x. So let's take our calculator. Come on. All right, first thing I need to do is check the mode on my calculator. What mode should my calculator be in?
Normal.
side.
I need to make sure I'm in degree mode. The mode button is right next to the blue button.
I'm in degree.
Battery.
Needs to be in degree mode, so if you're in radian mode, just go ahead and click enter on the degree. The mode button is right next to the blue one. Okay. So once we've done that, everything's fine. So I'm just going to do, to make a fraction. Do you guys know how to make a fraction on your calculator? This is a neat shortcut. If you press alpha and the y equals button, and then choose the first option, it'll put like the fraction in there so you can type into your calculator exactly what it looks like on your sheet of paper. And you don't have to worry about like parentheses. Alpha, y equals. Alpha is the green one, and the y equals is the upper left-hand corner. So that's my answer. What is that rounded to the 100th? If I want that answer rounded to the 100th, it's 8.51. Everybody's cool? 100th is the second decimal place. Okay. We're going to pause here because we have like 3 minutes left. I don't want to get to another one because I'd like to be able to go through slowly on this stuff. Next time, we're going to pick up in this kind of review where we left off and do some more of these kinds of problems. And then we'll start in regular trig stuff, and I'll show you guys the Delta Math assignment. Everything that I had written on the agenda for what I thought I'd get through today, don't worry about it. The only thing you have to worry about for next time is the syllabus sign-in sheet. That's your only assignment. The Delta Math, don't do anything with it. The homework that I'd listed on the agenda on the My Notre Dame page, don't worry about it. That'll all happen next week. Everybody's cool?
Yeah.
Everybody feel okay? Not too overwhelmed by day one? Yeah.
For the syllabus, do we have to put that in our notebook or can we just sign it?
Yeah, so you should have your parents sign it and you sign it. And if it's in your shared OneNote notebook, you're done. So right now, if you looked at your OneNote, I put in the content library the syllabus sign-in sheet. You would just need to copy that and put it into your section so you can edit it. To do that, the easiest way is if you right-click over here on the list, you can just hit copy and then open up your section, right-click and hit paste. Done. Easy.
No.